how you want to see this production house going ahead, and how I really love this idea of yours of motivating the women after 50 and the work that you are doing for women after 50. So what are the new things those are coming? What are the upcoming plans via this YouTube channel of yours?
Yeah. So the production house is my daughter's baby. She thought about it, and whatever I'm doing, they produce. So they do the whole background work on it and everything. The 50 plus, of course, she is helping me fully in that also, and we are going ahead with that. Where I've always wanted to work, because I've seen people after the age of 50 giving up. Abhi dadi ma ban gaye, nani ma ban gaye, we need to play with grandchildren, we need to go to satsangs, we need to do, simple things. Where children will tell you, abhi aapke ghutne theek nahi hai, abhi aap baith jaiye. So all these things happen, and I feel that, like you said, you can start anywhere, but there's no limit to where you can go. So you can keep going wherever you want. And I want especially the 50 plus lady to realize her potential, because she's got a lot of time on hand. She's got lots of resources, because of course life is generally settled by then.
Correct.
Financially, mostly you are quite set. Also, they have good health, because we've got such a lot of things available now for good health.
Very true.
So they have that. And I think her responsibilities are so much lesser, as compared to what it was when she was younger.
Correct.
So make use of all this in a very productive way, which helps you, which makes you happy, which makes you satisfied. You must have given up so much when you were, on your journey.
For many.
Bachcho ke liye kar diya, family ke liye kar diya, with everybody around you've been giving and giving. So you do something which makes you happy. Give yourself what you lost out on. Give opportunities what you lost out. Like I wanted to act when I was young, but I couldn't. So I did it now. I know the roles are limited. I know everything is limited, but so what? Even if I've done 1 or 2 or 5, it doesn't matter. I at least fulfilled that dream rather than just not doing anything at all about it.
Yeah.
So that is what my main aim is. And in future, we are wanting to spread a lot of message. Not only, I feel the youngsters should understand the elders. Like if my daughter is pushing me, or if you are pushing your mother, that makes a lot of difference. So when youngsters push their parents, nahi aap jaiye, aap kariye, do it. Instead of saying, no, sit down, don't do anything,
Yeah.
So that is why our program is for everybody. It's not only for the 50 plus, but it's for all age groups. So their understanding of it has to be on different planes and on different levels. So that is the main aim.
It is really a noble thought. And actually, you have correctly mentioned, we have got just one life.
Yes.
And why to give up on it before 10-20 years when you are still living?
So as you know, I'm from salon industry. Definitely I'll ask, you have a very beautiful skin.
Thank you.
So what is your daily routine?
So I think eating healthy makes a lot of difference. Exercises make a lot of difference. So my life is a lot about exercises and eating healthy.
Wow.
That is 2 things. And yes, we need to take care of our skin and hair in the best possible way. So of course, when you go out, to use your sunblocks and normal stuff which ladies should do and everybody should do. But the best thing is that instead of applying too many products, I think using products from your kitchen and using home products also helps if you have to do like the DIY things, So I think those also help a lot. And of course, for me, fitness is the best. When you sweat out, when all the toxins are getting out of your skin, all that helps to make your skin better on a cellular level. And that comes out easily, And of course, the food. So that is what
it's amazing. I can see that. Because, the person should be internally beautiful to look outside beautiful. So that's what makes a difference.
Right.
What pushes you in life, to become such a role model for the young generation,
So I think you don't work at becoming a role model to the generation. You generally work on yourself. So I feel when you overcome a whole lot of things and you come and become the person that you become over the years after tackling business and issues in business and going through meeting different types of people, tackling different types of people, also making that circle which is one-to-one level with you on the same brain level, or whether it is the intelligence level, or whether it is a business level or whatever. So once you go through all those stages and phases, you generally become one type of a person, you know, basically. And I think as you become that and as you grow as a human, I think everybody should grow as a human. You cannot stagnate.
Very true.
So once you grow as a human, automatically there are people down the line who are going to be influenced. They are going to take that inspiration. They are going to see that strength. They are going to see that work which was put to become that person. So I think it just works over a period of time. That part just comes automatically. All you have to do is work on yourself. You have to become the best version of yourself.
Very true.
Nobody else can make you that version. Only you can do it.
Very true.
So the minute you stop working on yourself, it shows. That okay, people may talk to you once, they may talk to you twice, but then the third time they'll say, okay, there's nothing much. I mean, this is it. Like, you know, it's और आगे कुछ नहीं है. You know, this is what you get. And enough. We've had it now. Nothing more.
Right.
But if you always strive and continuously grow, I think every time somebody meets you, there's something new they get to learn, they get to hear. Even for me, I feel with youngsters, I get to hear and learn something new. So that teaches me something and they learn something. It's always a give and take in this world. And I think that is what makes that whole society, community, everything sustain and depend on each other and grow with each other.
Please tell me your 3 takeaways for me, ma'am. Like, what would be your, as a, you know, new generation को देने के लिए यार?
Yeah, the new generation, of course, that if you are, you know, really transparent, वो जो हम बोलते हैं ना, नीति अच्छी होती है. When you have everything from within which is good, you feel good, you work with that attitude that you don't want to cheat, you don't want to bully, you don't want to, you know, take the advantage of somebody. That which even I have always used in my business and in my, you know, whole journey, that just be true.
Okay.
Be, you know, you get what you see. So it's not that you're something else here and then you're something else behind. You're just
you
what you
can't be that too.
Yeah. So that is, yeah. So, but there are a whole lot of people which I have seen who are very, very sweet on the face, and at the back they would be the first ones to pull you back or pull you down or whatever. So one is, of course, that you be very, very true. Be disciplined. That is one thing, because discipline is something which will stand you through all your life, in fact, you know. And yeah, never stop learning. That is the third thing, because I think even for me, I studied I got my Reebok certification at the age of 45. I went and studied acting for films at the age of 58. So it is like, you know, every age you never stop learning. And I think now also there's so much to learn from all youngsters also who are coming. And I always feel, you know, I have to do this, what she's doing, because it's like one FOMO, you know. I tell everybody that I have this FOMO कि मैं रह जाऊंगी, मुँह रही गई. My daughter always says, Mom, you have a very big FOMO.
I said, no, ma'am, हमें लगना चाहिए कि, you know, हम नहीं रह जाए, like we are missing something which is
no, nothing like that. But
doing.
See, now this digital world of yours has come now. It was not there in our times.
Correct.
So when this came, I wanted to do that. मैंने channel खोलना है, ये करना है, उसके लिए काम करना है. It was nothing to do. I keep spending for it, you know. In fact, I mean, it's nothing to do. Okay, I'm going to. Okay, it will happen over a period of time. I know, and it is going towards there. But then that came in a little later. First, it was just for fun, and let's start and let's do it. It's something new, and you really don't know what you're getting. It for me, it was not something which I knew I was getting into.
पता ही नहीं था, but हमने journey शुरू
करना ज़रूर है. वो करना है बस. So it's like that, you know. Whatever you see, you want to do. अच्छा, तुमको ये करना है, चल मैं भी लग जाती हूँ. My daughter says, Mom, everything you want to do, जो भी आता है तुम बोल रही हो, ये भी करना है, ये भी करना है. Stop. We will do only this type of work. We will only take this. Okay. So sometimes she tells somebody, we had a few directors and small filmmakers who came and they said, you know, to do this role, that role. She said, Mom, you can't do this. You can't work with them. I said, why? I said, it's okay. मुझे तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Why? I said, just camera के सामने करना ही है, तो I'm happy with it. Absolutely no. So it's like that, but I'm okay with, you know, work is work and fun is fun, and I think you should just enjoy what you're doing also. Otherwise you'll never
never
be able
motivation
to do anything.
Motivation ही नहीं
yes. I think. So I think those things are there in life. Enjoy what you do, be disciplined, be true to yourself, I'm
taking my takeaway, that is discipline. Like, because I think right now that is the phase when even I am keeping myself, मैं अपने आप को push कर रही हूँ that be disciplined. I'm not
that
you,
much.
and you know, I think
I'm pushing myself.
Yeah, and once you get into the work mode, now a lot of people just forget about taking some time for themselves. That you have to keep yourself productive. You have to keep yourself occupied. You have to keep yourself all the time on the go, learning new things. Otherwise, you will get fed up of life. I have seen a lot of people. Taking care of grandchildren, taking care of going to satsangs, going to this, going to that, social, only that is the world which they are in. Maybe they are happy, maybe they don't want any better. But I have always been the one to want to do 10 things at one time, and all those things should be done nicely, all those things should prosper, all those things, yes. So I think I always wanted to do things which can give me a lot of happiness, a lot of joy. Like dressing up gives me happiness, good clothes give me happiness.
It always, I think, it makes a lot of difference.
All that just gives me a lot of pleasure. A good house, every item which is in the house has to be very beautiful.
Today I was just taking 2-second pause and I was just looking around that how well you have managed this place. And that is my next goal.
Yes.
I think.
But y'all are young and y'all will be able to do it, I'm sure, and I'm sure y'all will be able to do it much better also as the time goes. But yes, I think you should just always keep learning and always want to look ahead, like see 10 steps ahead. Udhar kya hai, wahan dekhe. अभी जो है वो है
futuristic thinking.
Yeah, futuristic क्या है उसमें, क्या होना है, क्या हो सकता है.
I have always seen you since my childhood, and yes, it's very nice to see you all at this age. Sorry, I don't want to
No, it's okay. You already said from childhood, so I'm already feeling like, okay, I'm there.
No, but it's nice. Like,
yes,
at
I'm fine
from
with
that age, if you are empowered, I feel it's
yes.
a very because I think during your days, the empowerment was not that high on women.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? How has it helped you? And what would you like to suggest us from your experiences?
So, women empowerment, we never had that much of opportunities, and
yes.
I think I started working because of the need to work and the need to bring food to the table or money in the house. But that was the beginning, and then after that it just became, it was like like वो बोलते हैं ना बंदर के हाथ में तलवार. So like you got your tool and you understood that, I can do this and I can do it well and I should do it and why not, and then it just started growing. So I think like there were no real entrepreneurs in Surat. I mean, there have been across the world, but in Surat it was a little different. People were wondering, why she did the things she does, because I mean, you should be a housewife and you should be looking after your house and children more than anything else and stuff like that. And I think slowly we changed that idea, and in fact the same people whom I see now, who at that time were skeptical, are now in fact the ones who are pushing their children that you should do it. So I think at that time they too missed out because they didn't know better. So I feel if you don't know better, you can't help it.
Yes.
But as the times progressed and as we all moved ahead, people started understanding better, women started understanding better, and then they realized that what she was doing was not wrong, it was just different. And that
ahead
had to
of
be,
times.
Yeah, that was ahead of times, I think.
Yes.
And I think you were meant to do it because circumstances are there. But how you take them, how you tackle them, and how you, get across what you want to do to people is what is important. And once that job is done, I think it just makes everything fall in place. Because if people don't understand what you're trying to do, it is difficult. But once they understand, she means business, she means work, and she's actually serious about what she's delivering and actually trying to do something which is helpful. Like when we started with fitness, and we started with a restaurant, we started with a corporate hotel, and we started like a boutique hotel, and then I went on to do so many other things. So it was somewhere or the other, it was either drawing a sort of a line for others to follow, and also it was giving people an opportunity to say, if she can do it, I can also. So I think that was what it was. And maybe I didn't have too much help at that point of time from people around me, the support which now women have. Women are really supporting women. Women are pulling women up and they are pushing them in the right direction. That was really not there. But then I think the men did it. So it was okay. The people who were in my life were the ones who pushed me. So I think I'm grateful for that.
To know from your side, how do you see the fitness world today?
like.
Right. So for me, fitness again has always been a part of my routine, because when I was young, I was asthmatic and terribly asthmatic. I used to have my, pump in my purse, in my kitchen, in my office, in my car, everywhere. And for years, I never slept lying down. I had to sit and sleep for years. And not even 2 steps I could climb. Like, I had to sit down. That was so bad, especially after my daughter was born. I had a very bad attack of asthma. And my parents thought that ye gayi and the daughter would be with
I
us.
saw a lot of equipments in your
Yeah, so
home.
I am a gym buff, and I think slowly with fitness, with exercises, I got rid of it. The first time I tried doing aerobics, I had my pump in front of me. I said I'll just do it for 5 minutes. I was running a gym, and I used to handle the office part, and I used to feel so stupid. I said, I'm in a gym and I can't work out.
Yes.
Because all the doctors kept saying, ki don't do this, and you'll get this and you'll get that. So it was like that. And then I said, let me just try it. And I felt good. Then I started more the next day, and then slowly it went on, and then I think I never looked back.
That is the powers of exercise. So I would just add in, even for myself, I had a spondylitis at a very young age because of driving, or maybe I used to do a lot of things, and eventually doctors started, telling me the orthopedics. Now you have to change your lifestyle. You cannot do these things.
Yes.
But because I joined the gym for reducing my weight, and my strength was very good, I started playing powerlifting. That is like lifting 100 plus. I used to do that regularly, and that healed my spondylitis.
Yes.
And recently I got my MRI, and it says it's just as a normal human should have. So I also believe in
exercises. And then I used to have a lot of, like you said, hormonal imbalance, because I was having so many medicines of asthma. And I think all this I stopped slowly, and I made sure every time I had, before when I couldn't afford huge houses and stuff like that, I had smaller houses that I was staying like on a couple of floors up, so I could climb up and down and all. So now in my house also I've kept stairs, so I'm never going to stop climbing. I'm never going to stop climbing, because that is something which if I do nothing, active. If I do nothing also, if I just go from this house to that house and that house to this house, it makes me do n number of steps in a day.
And it is now important with Corona scenario.
So now at the age of 60, I too have spondylosis. I too have an L4, L5 problem. There is some wear and tear of your.
That is a degeneration.
All these
every human is going to
everybody has.
Face.
But as long as you can keep yourself active, I also run marathons. I run at least, now first I used to run half marathons. Now I went up to 10 kilometers. So I said, at least let me do what I can do instead of just doing too much and then falling ill or whatever.
Yes, yes.
So that fitness has become a part of my life, and I think because of that, I want to push ladies and people all over 50 that you should be active. They just say कि नहीं अभी तो मुझे पीठ दुख रही है, घुटने दुख रहे हैं, मैं ये नहीं कर सकती, वो नहीं कर सकती.
Because when you do not do things, it
becomes more.
It becomes more.
Yeah.
Too less is of no use. Too more
too much is also of no use. You have to have that balance. So at least I feel that every 6 days in a week I do workouts, and which is a combination of strength and cardio and everything. And I became a Reebok certified fitness trainer at the age of 45 when I had my own gym. So that is the time when I learnt a lot. But as the years go, everybody's metabolism is going to become slow. So you have to take all the more care with your food and with your
right. So
daily
like
things.
you said, when I was advised like not to do powerlifting also, because my hand was getting all numb and everything.
Okay.
Though my reports were very clear and everything. So I also did the K11 certification for training. So because I want to learn what's there with the muscle, how the movement has to be.
The muscles help you.
Yes, and that helped me a lot. Even till today, I train myself by my ways. I plan my own training programs
schedules,
and all. Yes, it helps.
Yes.
And even I push all the ladies, they should do.
So I feel there is no age when you can't start, or there's no age for you to stop.
There is no,
you have to just start whenever. If you've never worked out, start today. If you're still working out,
the right moment.
Don't stop. So it is just something that it has to become a part of your life. I can understand there are gaps, like now we've been shooting for 3-4 days, so I've not been able to really do something for 2 days, but like 2-3 days or 4 days would be max, and then I immediately jump back to my routine. So it's quick. Even if I take a holiday for 15 days, immediately
Your
come
body
back and
demands.
jump. It demands. You feel guilty to eat otherwise,
Yes.
you feel guilty about so many things.
Yes.
So yeah, I see fitness as a very, very big part of everybody's life now. I think people are getting younger as
Of
they
course
follow
it
the
is.
fit routines.
Yes. With the diet as well, when we say, we get a lot of people coming कि मैंने डाइट किया था, so लोगों ने हमसे कहा कि इससे अच्छा आप मोटे अच्छे दिख रहे थे. So I said फिर आपने डाइट नहीं किया था, because when you say diet, people take it as a starvation.
Starvation, I
When
know.
I say diet is a nourishment.
And right food, yes.
Yes, if you lose 10 kgs, you should look 10 years younger. But when you lose 10 kgs and somebody says, यार skin लटक गई है, बुरी दिख रही है, black होने लगी हो, then you actually did not do justice
right
to
thing.
yourself.
Right.
So this is the difference. I always keep telling people that starvation is not dieting. The right nourishment, and this is why we call ourselves as nutritionists.
Right.
Because they don't understand the difference. So this education even in today's city is very important.
It is. Because any layman would call a diet as something to stop
when
eating.
we say this, that we are diet consultants, so they say, अब तो खाना बंद कर दोगी ना, अब तो मेरा सब कुछ बंद करा दोगी. So this is the first thing I get to hear. I was like, अच्छा मैं आपको इतना दूंगी कि you will tell me कि मैं मोटा हो जाऊंगा.
Yeah.
That is.
Great. So that is it. I think fitness is a huge part of everyone's life, and it should be.
So I just wanted to know what inspired you to start the production house and the big shot with this whole interview thing.
Yeah, so my production house is a company which my daughters visualize. So she always wanted to do something which was on a bigger scale, but after a few years. So that was her baby, and I'm supporting her.
Okay.
But where the interviews and all, where my YouTube channel concerned, where my shows concerned, it was just as a fun thing, because she has worked in the industry in Mumbai, and she knew a lot of people. So we started with interviewing friends, just as a thing. I said, let me do it. And also what happened was, when I wanted to get into acting, I just had this thing. I was always been a corporate person, and I wanted to get into acting. A couple of years back, I went and I studied acting for films and all that in New York. I went to Mumbai, all those things. But then at least at my age, the roles are typical, like, you're just a mother or a mother-in-law, and even other, but okay, they are good, it's fun, all that is good. But just, for me, I wanted to just be in front of the camera, that was all. So I said, let me start doing something like this, and we started putting everything on the channel, which is what I do. So I love talking to people, I love knowing about people, I love traveling, I love fitness, I love taking care of myself with all the different routines of skin and hair and all that. And all the stuff that I love doing, and a basic lifestyle of mine, we put it on that channel. So we've done a lot of videos about that. And then, of course, because I'm a corporate person, I've always loved to promote and support women working. So a lot of my team people in my house also, I've got a whole lot of female gang working. Okay. So I love supporting females who are working, who are trying to do something. If they need mentoring, if they need support, if they need any type of assistance or guidance, I'm always there. So yeah, I think that has also wanted me to do even a show like this. So that, and being from a small town, when people don't give much importance to a small town, I think Surat is something which is very booming, very upcoming, very progressive.
Yes.
It's like an emerging business capital, and that is why I wanted, our young girls and our young entrepreneurs to be out in public and let people know what we can do.
Well, thank you so much for counting me in for the whole thing. It's really fun, and it's very nice what you do. It's like it takes so much of courage, to do the thing that you're doing.
Do you
facing
feel
the
that?
Camera.
Yeah, no, I think it's just something which people must know, because now there is so many ways of letting people know, and you can reach so many people. And I want to specially reach people over 50 who feel that they give up after a certain age, that what to do now, let's just sit, let's just relax, or take care of the grandkids or something like that.
The cliche things.
Yeah, cliche things.
No, but I think the whole 50 plus thing is really nice. You can be you can be an inspiration to a lot of women for the same.
Yeah, I would love to be that.
Because
I think I have never heard people talk about 50 plus.
Yeah.
So it's a very good thing, targeting them. I mean, it's really
I don't know. I
needed in
feel,
these-
when your children have grown, everybody is busy in their lives and all, and you feel sort of, away, not really much wanted in the house. People don't really want so much of your opinions. They'd rather listen
Yes,
to
yeah.
their wives if the sons are there, or the husbands if the daughters are there, or whatever, So I feel it's better to have your own and not really bother about what everybody is thinking and wanting.
And the 50 plus now are quite different than 50 plus who were there some 10 years, 20 years back.
And
so
you've
we
got
need
so much
some outlets.
You have so much energy left, you've got so much resources left in you,
Right.
you've got so much productivity left in you, and you can always learn. So now is the time.
Yes, now is the time to pursue the dreams we couldn't before.
We couldn't before.
That's
That is
very
the
important thing.
Yeah, because I wanted to act when I was in college, and then it didn't happen. After that, life happens, and life takes you all over wherever you don't want to go.
I have been reading about you, and you have been through so many ups and downs, and you're totally an example of so many things that people should not think about, right? Like age, failure. Like you're so much about a ball of this positive spirit. But I'm sure that there might have been a moment, a story, which was your totally a low point story. What was that low point story, and how did you sail through it?
Yeah.
What was the mantra that you used to sail through it?
Yes. So the lowest point in my life had been when I had my own hotel, which I sold to Country Club, and the lowest point was at a point of time when my hotel was in such a bad situation where we had no money to pay to the banks, and the bank was going to auction off my property. And that was the day where I was sitting one fine evening and thinking, that this can't happen, it's just not possible, and there has to be a way out. And all of a sudden, there was something that came to my head, and I started writing. And I just wrote down so much. I wrote about 4 pages of it, and I put all that writing into an envelope and marked it private and confidential, and sent it to the senior most, I mean, the India head of our bank, who was in Delhi. And it went by courier that night itself. And then I got an appointment with him, which I was trying to get since almost a year. And because my account was bad, and nobody was letting me meet him and stuff like that. But I did get to meet him, and then the whole U-turn happened, and everything came, fell into place slowly and steadily. It did take time, but that was the first thing which I said, it has to be there, something has to happen and something has to change. And writing down all of it point-wise, how we began, what was our vision, what we look at, where we were not getting the help which we wanted from them, where, they can and they could do it, and what all prospects are there for the future, and how much we can succeed if this was given to us. Everything was like, it was just poured out like in 4 or 5 pages. And it was a handwritten thing, and I can't imagine. And he was also I think he must have understood, because when I wrote private and confidential, they got that note. When it went on a company letterhead, they never gave it to him. So probably that was one thing which worked for me. And the second thing is, I think I've always been a never give up sort of a person until you reach somewhere. So, you never give up. I don't know, somehow if something is not completed, you keep trying, even if it takes all night, if it takes all day, if it takes all month, if it takes all year, whatever, that was, you never sink, you always swim. So that sink never comes in, just the swimming part comes. So that attitude I had developed from a very young age, because I think I have been the only child. I have no brothers and sisters. And I faced a lot of issues in my own personal life. So I think that made me fight, to make my place, make my niche, make my sort of little spot where people could know that, yes, she is there to mean something and not just there. Because at our time, the woman entrepreneurial definition was very different. People who worked from outside the house, and that also being a single woman, everything, rose eyebrows, and passed a lot of comments and made a lot of judgments and everything. So that scenario was very different. But I think you don't need to go and justify yourself to anybody. You just do what you're going to do. And only your family needs to know. Nobody else matters at that point of time, just your family. Once your family is with you, it just works, as long as they know what you're doing, you have to answer them and you have to be truthful to them and yourself. So I think that was the time which made things happen, and then sky was the limit. So then just things.
It's so beautiful, right? It's so beautiful that even in the odd times, you're looking to, okay, how can I solve these odd times? So letting the problem being the ruling mindset, you're kind of shifting to, how can we solve this?
Yeah.
How can we do the next
problem? Everybody knows, but it's a solution that you want. So whenever anybody talks, so problems everybody knows of. It's the solutions that you want. So whenever people talk about problems, I always say, don't even mention that. Look at the solutions. You keep talking problem, you'll never find a solution. If you talk solution, you'll always find a solution. Is that?
Absolutely, yeah.
People like you are some some personalities that we look up to, and looking at my own journey, I always think that these people who have crossed all those barriers, how have they done? So what has been one of the most challenging situations in your life that you really came out winning?
Yeah. So I think when we started, or rather when I started off on my journey, there were very few women in the working
of course,
thing.
I can imagine.
And in fact, in Surat, I think if you called somebody an entrepreneur, I don't think there was anyone, at that point of time. And I was here running a hotel. It was a completely man's world, and like a thing. So all those things put together, where dealing with certain male egos, so that happens, and that happens sometimes even with my staff who are males who couldn't take orders from females, because that was many years back. I mean, this was a journey when I'm talking about, say, about another 20 years back or 25 years back, and in a small town. So it was much more orthodox. Openly, behind doors, what unorthodox could be there, but in front everything was very orthodox. So that was one challenge I faced, where I have to be very sweet to everybody, very good to everybody, not spoil relations, but at the same time diplomatic and hold my own. Otherwise, if I don't hold my own, then it's very easy to just slip, and people can easily get the chance to pull you down. So that was something which was challenging, but it was fun at the same time, because every time I got home, and then I realized that, people are just going to be people, men are going to be men, women are going to be women, and everybody has their own agenda, and I am nobody to refute that. I'd rather just have
acceptance of people and the situation.
And just make me the best version of myself, rather than anything else.
So then in that journey, who has been your biggest pillar of support?
I think my daughter, even though when she was very small, she was always there, tiny little thing. Wherever I went, she was always sitting in one corner. Now, anytime she reminds me, she says, now Mom, after the age of 60, 65, you're going to come and sit in one corner wherever I go. I said, nothing doing. But she was always there with me, and I think just looking at her, you just forget everything and you want to do everything else and make it work, because
you being a mother gave you that strength.
It gives that strength, yes.
And you said that at that time not many people were doing it.
They weren't.
So how come you thought differently? Were you looking up to somebody? What was your point of reference? Or you just could not be like them?
The first thing it all started was because of need, because of necessity. I was separated from my life partner. And after that it was me, and I had to fight it out. It was like either sail or sink, and I think I've never thought about sinking. That was never I've never been that type of a person. I've always been very positive, very optimistic, do things, get things done, everything, even in the house. For everything there was a discipline, for everything there was a time, for everything it had to be done in this particular way, and very organized in my house and everything. So I think all that just came out in a big rush when I started working. And I did learn the hard way, so I think I wasted a couple of years not couple, I mean almost half a decade I must have
always a
wasted.
journey. It's always
Yes,
a
so
journey.
I think that's what I wrote in my book, which I have come out with. It's on Amazon.
Wow.
And those are the points I feel if people know from the beginning, maybe, they would not make those mistakes and they will save a few years of their life and move ahead. So first it was because of need, and then it was because I enjoyed doing it, and I realized I'm good at it, and I realized I can do it, and I can do it better than most people.
I got married in 2003, and even then I used to hear your name, and that I thought it was some gym that you were running.
Yeah, it was, and I became a Reebok certified fitness trainer at the age of 45.
Yes,
So that was quite some feat at that time, because learning all over again.
And fitness was never even a word
big,
at that time when you were
when we got into it. Yes.
That was
so this journey was
thank you
interesting.
that being such role models. I think when society looks up to people like you, they have a reference point that life could be this way. It doesn't have to be always that
this
stereotype, because many women or even men for that matter settle, and when they see people who have not settled and taken the courage to go to the next step, I think that really pushes the society in a more, in a better place.
Better in a positive way, yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, my dear.
Ma'am, you are such a wonderful entrepreneur. And
thank you, my dear.
Ma'am, I would like to know some advice you could give to me for YouTube and everything.
For YouTube and everything. So that part of my life is very new, because I have always been an entrepreneur, and I've got into the entertainment world and the digital media very recently, sort of just a couple of years or a year back,
Yes.
So that is something which I'm still exploring, and we have some team who does it. But I think advice to youngsters like you all would definitely be that you must follow your passion, because if you're happy doing what you are doing, you'll always continue to do it,
Right.
If you're not happy doing something, if you don't enjoy the work that you are doing, you feel it's just a big bore and you just have to do it for the sake of doing it, that becomes a sort of a negative part which will not let you grow. So I think you should just stick to what makes you happy. First, realize your passion. What is your passion? And if there is some work related to that passion, that is great. You must just do it. And then money follows, fame follows, name follows, everything follows. But basically you need to find your passion, your purpose, what you want to actually get into. And you can always try a whole lot of new things. We cannot first thing try kar liya and then done, and it has to work, and it has to. It's okay if you fail, It doesn't matter. You can always try something else, and you can keep on trying. It doesn't matter. You're doing it to prove something to yourself, not to anybody else.
Perfect. Thank you.
What is your mantra for life when it comes to entrepreneurship and your venture and all those interviews that you are doing? So what is your one mantra that keeps you going every day?
So I feel every time I get up, I too get a lot of new ideas. I love thinking, and I feel I want to do everything. So whether I've got into acting now, I've always been a business person, but I love traveling and lots of things. So I want to do everything. I feel there is just one life, and all that YOLO or what all your youngsters say, I don't know what. But because of that, I want to do whatever I can and the best to my ability. So whether I succeed, it doesn't matter, but I will still give it a try and make it work to the best of my ability.
Perfect.
So that is what I feel, and I feel everybody can learn that, because every time you're scared, that if I do this and it won't work, if I do this and if it fails, or if I do this and people will say something, somebody will laugh at me, somebody will, sort of make a joke about it and stuff like that. I think you should never do that. You should just be yourself. If you are confident, you have an idea, put it out there. You never know what clicks.
Right.
And it may just suddenly become big, So it's today's startup can become tomorrow's multinational, whatever. So something like that.
What made you come up with this?
Come out with what? The interview thing?
Interview thing.
Yeah. So I've always been sort of I've always wanted to support women doing things, because when I came into the field, and especially in a small city like Surat, so there were very few women entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And very few women. There were people who were doctors and lawyers, and there were ladies like that, and also ladies who work from home, like selling papads or pickles and things like that. So they also do an amazing job. But an actual entrepreneur, there were very, very few, or maybe none at that point of time. So I always wanted more and more of these to come out. And when I have joined up with TIE and with Chamber of Commerce and with all these people, we've seen a lot of scope among youngsters. We've seen a lot of scope in women. And I always feel women have so much potential, but they do not use it because of so many other circumstances, maybe family not allowing, maybe husband not allowing, maybe fathers also not allowing in the beginning, and then it moves on, and people just okay, fade away, theek hai, why harass everybody, sab log khush nahi hai to not to do it, and stuff like that, and they give it up, and I think that is such a waste of talent, such a waste of resource. And I always wanted that females get into this stream,
that limelight,
get into more than the limelight. They should just be productive, active, and do things with a passion and do things which they love without anybody wanting to pull them back and pull them down. So that is my main reason, and I think even my channel is all about that. I've written a book which is all about that, and everything what I want to do is trying to push women to come out and come and work and explore their potential.
Definitely.
So that was the main reason, and I think I've always worked and I've always spoken about this, that I want women to come out. I think most of my staff is women. Sorry to all the males over here, but like most of the staff who are working with me are females, and it's nothing to do with males or any other mentality. It's just that they should be given the first opportunity, because that is not there.
That's not
in
given
many places.
otherwise, yes.
Yeah.
I would ask about your experience in Gujarat 11. Like, I saw the movie. I didn't go to the theatre, but I saw at home at leisure. Maybe twice I have seen.
Okay.
So, like, how was your experience as a star?
So more than experience as an actor, I think, I mean, the experience of acting was a bigger thing, because till now I've always been a very corporate person. I've always been a businesswoman. I've always been working. I've always been like, wearing the pants and running around and doing all the things which a working person does, like, right from nearly 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So I feel that was a very different thing, like how you're engineering and clothes. So mine was like a corporate business and something, like acting, which is different. It is more artistic and much more, fluid in that way compared to a corporate person. So that was the thing which I enjoyed. And being in front of the camera, because I wanted to act, I studied. No, I've never been camera conscious, I think, ever, because even when I was working, there was a lot of times when people came to take interviews, people came to ask about certain things, and you kept giving, all those talks and giving out tidbits of, like what I say, Geeta Gyaan all the time. So because of that, I think camera consciousness never happened. And I also went and studied acting, because I never knew anything about acting, not even the A of acting. So I went to New York Film Academy and 2 years back, and then I studied acting for films. So at least to get the base, and then I also did the acting course at Anupam Kher's Actor Prepares in Santa Cruz. So I went to both these places and that was little Indian version of how in India the films are made. And that was, of course, how Hollywood films are made. But that gave me an idea of what can happen and what I can expect.
So you have any films coming up?
Yeah, we've been talking with a few people. Because of COVID, a lot of things got delayed and a lot of things went this way. And then we got more active on my YouTube, because that became much more easier to manage and much more, so that started growing, the YouTube thing. So I'm enjoying that as well, and yes, we are talking with the people, and I've just recently gone and met a few people, and things are happening. So I think when it actually comes out, we can announce.
How do you manage it all? Like, motherhood, following your dreams. How a woman can have it all? Like, what is the mantra you go for? Like, as a female, we want all. हमें business भी चाहिए, हमें career भी चाहिए, हमें family भी चाहिए, हमें social life भी चाहिए, हमें baby को भी ignore नहीं करना है. So how to have it all? Like, what sort of
mindset you have it in कि जो है it doesn't जो है आप सब कुछ कर सकते हो.
I think the first thing any female should learn is to take decisions quickly and confidently.
Okay.
You know, I've seen women, they keep on getting confused a lot. They keep wavering, going from one to ये भी करूँ, फिर किसने बोला तो ये भी कर लूँ, इसने बोला नहीं ये भी ठीक लग रहा है. So in that you waste a lot of time, you waste a lot of effort, and you waste a whole lot of, finally what you have thought.
Okay.
So you should learn to take decisions quickly, rationally, and for yourself.
Okay.
So the minute you learn to take those decisions, everything starts falling in place, because then if I want this, you take a decision. Is this required? Do I want it?
Okay.
Do I need it? Is it necessary? And quick. If it is, okay, have it. If it is this, if you want to do it, how much it is going to, take up of your time, whether you want to, it's going to be good for you, bad for you, good for your child, bad for whatever. So then those questions, as per the situation, circumstances, things, persons, people, places, whatever it happens, you are able to take those very rationally and very quickly, without really going and seeking advice and help and opinions and things of others. And I think whatever you think, you will think from the bottom of your heart. You will, because your baby, your life, your house, your family, yourself, everything is yours. So what more would you not think for it, You would think the best and you would want the best. You would never want anything of that to go back or go bad or something. So decision making, which I have seen a lot of people lack, is one thing. Second is time planning, which is another very, very important thing.
Exactly, time planning.
Yeah, time planning is so important, and people really don't realize. But I think whenever I have been somewhere, it's always maybe on time or 5 minutes early or whatever. But you just have to value not only your time but other people's time. So these two things are one of my first advice which I would give is these two things, that you start and then things will start falling in place, and then of course discipline and system, you do things in a proper system, get organized. There are so many other things which follow.
There are these points where that there is no way out.
Right.
How do you keep your mind calm then? That there is no way out. What would you do?
Yeah. So there are situations when you come in business, because I've also faced those types of situations. When I had my hotel, there was a time when the bank had said that now we are going to Neelam karte hain na, auction of your place, at one point of time, and this is it. The doors are just going to shut. And then I turned it around and it became a success story. So I understand those days and that time when you have
going then?
So at that point of time, of course, you need to be very, very practical, very, very practical. And you need to think with a very calm mind, because then only you're going to get ideas. The minute you panic, the minute you have that, okay, oh, what will I do now, and ask 50,000 questions to 50,000 people and take advice from this one, that one. I think everybody can advise you, but only your heart and your head will tell you what is the right direction. Nobody else can point you except yourself. And I've seen that many times. Whatever advice, I love asking advice. I love asking people a lot of things. But I will only follow what my heart and my head tells me. And that has always proved correct,
I can totally relate to it, because you get so emotional that you think maybe that person is saying right or maybe that person is saying right.
Yeah, and that is more confusing.
That is more confusing. But actually in your heart you know it, but you just don't have the strength to
and that time I think at that point of time you're thinking and you're looking for people who will tell you, no, go ahead with what you're thinking or go ahead with what you're doing. And in fact, you're looking for that support system from them, and maybe you don't find it. People may say you give it up, and people may say, this is how you can do it or that is how you can do it. But inside yourself, you can make it and you can do it, and there are ways. There's always a solution. When there is a, people tell you all your problems. They never really go to the actual solution. Your actual solution only you can go to with your heart and your head. And I used to even tell other people, like there was a chartered accountant who was with me and he was really not helping. I said, you have got 100 companies whom you work with, So for you, my project is just one of them. But for me, it is my project, and it's every everything.
It's everything.
So what I will think for it, nobody else will think for it.
True that.
So I don't want anybody to involve. You let them involve, but you keep your head in the right place and you think from your heart, and it will show you a way. It has never failed me, and it has never failed a lot of people whom I know also.
So one belief that has kept you, you keep telling yourself that, allows you to do so many things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's too much to learn in the world. So I feel that like variety is the spice of life. And just as we would hate to eat the same food day in and day out, and we want variety in that.
Right.
So I want variety in all the things that I do.
Right.
So that it just, it can explore the different facets of what I have, whether I'm good at talking, or whether I'm good at acting, or whether I'm good at writing, or whether I'm good at mimicking, like I was doing some dubbing videos and all that. So whether I'm good at mimicking, or whether certain things you have proved that yes, you have been a businesswoman, you've done that successfully, then you did this success. So once you start reaching those milestones, you feel that let me go to another milestone.
How nice.
And then it is like, you just progress. And that milestone for me, it never has to always be in the same field,
True.
I feel you can deviate, pivot, make it more interesting, make it more such that, there is something very different to learn from what it was in the beginning. And so that whole new world opens up.
Wow.
That whole new, era opens up to you. And there's a whole new people and a whole new set of thinking that opens up. So that is so amazing that rather than, if I'm a corporate, that I'm only thinking corporate, when I'm thinking artistic, I'm meeting so many different people from there.
Right.
So that makes it again a different world, and I feel, oh wow, this is also there,
Wow.
So I used to always feel that why get stuck in one niche when the world is your oyster and you can just go anywhere, and if it happens, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you've tried.
Right.
So that is it.
So I have seen your YouTube channel, of course, I've known you. I just feel that you're so dynamic.
Thank you.
My one question is, ma'am, what keeps you going? What is it that just keeps you motivated to try different things? Be it, the businesses you've done or you're doing, the YouTube channel that you've, carved out, and anything else that you're doing right now. What is it? Maybe one thing or multiple things that just...
It's multiple things.
Yeah.
I think I cannot do one thing at a time. Like, I have to have my... fingers in 3-4 pies together. So I have to keep doing, even if I'm watching TV, there is something else which I need to do. Or if I'm doing something else, then something else has to be at the side. So maybe I was like this from the beginning. But a lot of people ask me this question, what is it that keeps you going? And that is my one thing which I call is my FOMO, because I feel I'm going to be left out. I need to do everything before I to leave the planet.
Right.
So, and everything is happening so quickly. When we were there, when we were young, your age, we didn't have so many opportunities like you have. We didn't have so many avenues, like especially the internet. I mean, that is one thing which has just opened up the world for everyone. So I just feel that, there is such a lot to explore, so much to do, and you have just so much time. So, I want to just do it all, or at least as much as I can, so that, I don't feel that I didn't even try. So that is one thing. And of course, some of the things like television, or what I'm doing, my acting and my YouTube and all those things, that was one wish when I was young, that I always wanted to act, and I wanted to get into the glamour world for some reason, not fully glamour world, but something out there, and to express myself. And that I couldn't do when I was young. Life happened, there was a whole lot of other things, circumstances and all that. So I thought it's never too late, whatever the age, let me just get into it. Otherwise, I'll never, and I'll always keep thinking, oh, I never did this.
Right.
So might as well do it. So it was that.
Wonderful.
So I think it just, new things keep just coming, and they just call me, and I feel, okay, let me get it.
I think we need more women like you who are so dynamic and inspirational, that they're just active, and they set such great examples that being an entrepreneur, you can be a vlogger and a blogger too, right?
Yes.
So wonderful.
Thank you. And I love to encourage, and especially my channel is all about encouraging women. It's a lifestyle channel where I want women to think that they can do it, even if they have houses, families, everything they can balance, they can juggle.
Correct.
And I'm sure the support system at home now for everyone is there.
Improving.
People know, and they want, the ladies of the house to get out and, do that. So I think it should help the channel. I've written a book on it. So that is also there for people to see and understand.
Wonderful.
So
I would love to ask you about your beauty. मतलब आप जिस तरह से पूरा संभाल रही है और इतना ग्लैमरस तरीके से संभाल रही है, तो मुझे यस एक चीज़ जो आपसे जानना था कि आपके जो एंटरप्रेन्योर की जर्नी रही थी अपने टाइम में, बिकॉज वी नो के उस टाइम पे हमसे तो काफ़ी डिफ़िकल्ट ही रही होंगी, बिकॉज यू नो उस टाइम के रिचुअल्स अलग थे, उस टाइम की थिंकिंग अलग थी, लोगों के माइंडसेट ऐसे नहीं थे कि वुमन कैन गो फॉर वर्क एंड एवरीथिंग. तो यस एक आपकी वो जर्नी मुझे जाननी है, प्लस हाउ यू कोप अप विथ मतलब आज की टाइम में इतने सारे चीज़ें एक साथ कैसे मैनेज कर रही है.
Yeah, so we'll go with the first, that how you can manage to look how you look. I think ye first thing which I learned from my mom. She was always well put together, you know. जब भी उसे देखो तो उसकी साड़ी का पल्लू इधर से इधर नहीं होता था, you know. She used to wear a Gujarati साड़ी, but she was always very prim and proper.
Right.
तो मुझे पता है कि मेरे जो गरीब के दिन मतलब जब भी मैं गरीब थी तभी भी ऐसे नहीं कि बहुत कुछ है, बट जब भी हम बहुत ही ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं था जब भी मेरे पास, तभी भी कोई भी मुझे देखे तो ऐसे नहीं लगता था कि यू नो she is totally not having too many things. सबको लगेगा कि नहीं ये बहुत ही अच्छे well maintained income group से है, you know, that sort of a thing. तो वो system I learnt of taking care and keeping myself always well put together and everything from my mom. During our times, yes, the times were different. ना तो internet था, ना Instagram, Facebook था कि हम फटाफट सबको पहुंच पाए या ऐसा कुछ. तो वो जर्नी अपनी तरह से अलग थी. सबको मिलो, सबको कन्विंस करो, अपनी बातें सबको बताओ, उसमें किस तरह से लोगों का रिएक्शन. वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स कम थे तभी वो टाइम पर. सो दैट वाज अगेन another point where people did not generally accept. They always thought, you know, you should have been at home and you should not have been here and stuff like that. But I think when you become when you're doing something and you're passionate about it, तो पैशन दो टाइप के होते हैं. एक पैशन वहाँ से उपजता है जहाँ पर तुमको ज़रूरत है. तो मुझे काम की ज़रूरत थी, पैसे की ज़रूरत थी, इंडिपेंडेंट होने की ज़रूरत थी. आई हैड टू ब्रिंग मनी इन द हाउस, आई हैड टू गेट फूड ऑन द टेबल. तो एक वो पैशन था कि वो करना चाहिए और करना है और इसीलिए पैशन था. और दूसरा कि जब वो थोड़ा कवर होने लगा तो फिर मज़ा आने लगा. फिर लगा कि नहीं ये तो मैं आसानी से कर सकते हैं, आई कैन डू इट बेटर देन अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल. सो देन वो एक दूसरा सा नशा आता है कि नहीं ये काम का एक नशा है जो इसको आगे करना है.
सोने नहीं देता,
वो कभी ना तो सोने देता, और सोते हैं तो वो सपने ऐसे दिखाता है कि तुम जगी जाते हैं, यू गेट गोइंग. सो दैट इज द वे इट हैपेंड विथ मी कि वो एक नीड पूरी हुई तो फिर दूसरी, और फिर एक चीज़ चलो अच्छे से ये हो गया तो फिर अभी एक घर चाहिए, फिर घर चाहिए तो गाड़ी चाहिए, गाड़ी चाहिए तो फिर बड़ी गाड़ी चाहिए, फिर बड़ा घर चाहिए. तो वो ज़रूरत है तो कभी पूरी होती ही नहीं है. इट्स अप टू यू. बट वो एक मुझे लगता है एक चीज़ है जो अगर ऐसा चाहिए तो उसकी वजह से यू कीप वांटिंग टू वर्क टूवर्ड्स इट. ऐसा नहीं कि चलो अभी ये है तो बस मेरे लिए बहुत हो गया, तो देन यू जस्ट स्टॉप. और यू शुड हैव सम अदर पैशन के उसकी तरफ आप बढ़ो. तो कहीं ना कहीं एक पैशन हमेशा अपने अंदर लिट अप होना चाहिए. सो दैट इज व्हाट आई थिंक आई हैव अ पैशन फॉर एवरीथिंग दैट आई वांट टू डू, दैट आई सी, दैट आई वांट टू गेट इनटू. So that keeps me going all the time and doing everything.
You haven't had any kind of family pressure कि नहीं आपको?
No, lots of. I've been a single mom all my life, and I mean all my working life.
Okay.
So there was मतलब चाहिए तो भी नहीं था because I had to do it. So that pressure was not the thing, but the pressure of other things, of running your house and running your family and running your daughter's education and running your your own life as such. So that was there. So yeah, I think there are pressures of all different types and they come to each one. हर एक को अपनी अपनी तरह से प्रेशर्स मिलते हैं.
Right.
तो वो तो सबके सेम होते ही नहीं है. I think you just learn as you go. एंड जैसे जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि आप चलते जाओ तो रास्ते बनते जाते हैं, दरवाजे खुलते जाते हैं.
You just have to take one
और कभी बंद भी हो तो फिर उसके जाकर ठोक भी सकते हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. उसको जबरदस्ती खुलवाना भी है, खोलो अभी मैं आ रही हूँ.
You are an entrepreneur yourself, okay? So you interact with entrepreneurs and you do so many interviews and stuff like that. What is that one thing you ever felt that somebody said something so nice that you just liked it and you put it अच्छा नहीं इन्होंने बहुत अच्छा बोला कुछ एक ऐसी चीज जो आपके दिल को छू गई हो, something like that. I know that was a little typical, but yeah.
What happens is over the years, I mean, I've been an entrepreneur since the last over 30 years, like 3 decades now. So,
wow.
Wow. Like, sometimes you feel that you've seen it, you've done it, you've been there, all those things. But what I now see in the youngsters, what I see now and what I really love and what touches me is that, they are really getting younger and younger as they try to get into doing businesses or trying to do startups or trying to get into something new or follow their passion. So I feel that when we were young, it was like, you finish school, college, and then you have to either do some masters or something, or you get married, you have your children, then if you are able to, then you work. So that era was very different. But now the youth are like, from a very young age, they are very focused and they do know where they want to go and how they want to go about it. So I think that is one thing which I really like, which we did not have. I think we didn't have that much understanding and maturity at our, during our times, which the youngsters I see have now. Probably because of the exposure they have to the world with the internet and with everything, that complete, explosion of content and explosion of things that they are able to pursue and they able to sort of, look into and able to sort of understand. So that was not there. So I think this is something which I really like among the youngsters, as I see them getting younger and younger and, starting from the age of 15 or 18 and 20 and, sort of getting into businesses. So I think I would.
That's very true.
You look so young and so dashing, and the personality. So I just want to know the secret behind it.
The secret is always keep learning new things, because in our times, so many years back, so many things were not there. And as you get to learn something new, or as you get to see something new, and if you want to sort of, get close to it, the first thing is to learn. Like the first thing which we had to learn was the internet, which was never there when we were young.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays nobody can even think of a world without internet.
Absolutely.
But we lived that world, and then we had to learn all those things because we never grew up learning them, and we were not taught in school. Like maybe now children are taught about the internet and how to use it and everything. We were not taught using computers also. So everything was, sum bhi karna hai to hamare paas calculator nahi dete the. तो हर चीज कितनी different थी, so learning new things keeps you young, because so many times I see even my own cousins, sometimes they tell me, मुझे तो ये YouTube का ये नहीं आता है. Sir, what do you mean नहीं आता है? Learn it. It's you have to learn it. No, मेरा बेटा सिखाएगा. I said, no, he's never going to teach you. You do it yourself.
And I think that comes with the attitude, the the perception that you conceive.
So you just start, getting into the new things, learning new things, understanding new things, and giving it a try, giving it a test. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least you're trying. At least you're trying to make use of it. My father learned internet at 78. I remember all his businesses were on fax and telefax and whatnot. Now we never even use fax machines anymore. They are obsolete. I tried to sell one old one. People are wondering, what is this?
By what we're going to do with this?
So it's like that. So he also learned, and then he realized, oh my God, this is so simple. In 1 second, they know, like WhatsApp. This is so simple.
It is happening just at a click.
बच्चे को अभी तुम बोलो तो they will not realize कि वो WhatsApp भी आपको नहीं पता था, तो नहीं पता था ही नहीं. So all the new things that came, so you grow with the times, you move with the times, you sort of be one with the times, and that just keeps you young.
Readiness of the acceptance.
Yeah,
you should accept
just keep learning. Once the minute you say अभी तो मुझे सब कुछ आता है, मुझे कुछ नहीं करना है, मैंने कर लिया. That is not kar liya. You just stop your life, right there.
That is inspiring. That is truly inspiring.
The first time we talked, and I really wanted to ask you that
Ma'am, how old are you and how do you manage to do this much at this age?
Okay, so I'm 60.
Okay.
And
60? I don't know what I'll be doing at 60.
Yeah, so and managing, like you said, a lot of help, a lot of support. My daughter is one of my biggest supports. Like, she's the push type, you know.
Okay.
Just go sort of a thing. But I think also I love doing a whole lot of things, and sometimes when I see new things coming up, I feel, you know, मैं रह गई इसमें, you know, like I have FOMO. So I have to do it. मुझे करना चाहिए, नहीं तो कभी करूँगी, you know. I don't have time. I should do it now. So I keep doing that, and I think that keeps me young. I think because of all these young things coming, and I feel हमारे time में नहीं था, तो at least now I should do it. I never got to do it then. Let me do it now. So these things I love to experiment with. And I just feel I keep doing things. If it works, it works. It doesn't work, it doesn't work. Really doesn't matter.
Right.
But as long as you're happy doing it, and I have sort of made everything within reach, you know, like everything is here.
That's so nice. So that's
yeah,
what
so
I
it's a huge
noticed
area where I can do everything from one place. So that saves a lot of time. And yeah, it's just. I feel that when people reach a particular age, they sort of give up. You know, they say, people advise them, अभी तो ये उम्र में क्या करना है, भजन, प्रवचन, कीर्तन, सत्संग, ये सब करना है. So I have never been that type. My family has never been that type. My mom, nobody in my house has been that type.
Right.
So I think we all felt that जो भी productive हो सकता है, you know, we are banyas, so from me, from within, productivity is required. तो productive करने के लिए जो भी कर सकते हैं, we should do, whether it is money wise, whether it is something which makes people understand and learn something, then that also becomes productive. So whatever way.
Wonderful.
आप जो certain age पे भी आप पहुंच गए, फिर भी आप इतने enthusiasm के साथ कुछ ना कुछ नया ट्राई करते हैं. आपने बोला कि अभी आप एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे कुछ
Yes, I've got my business, yes.
Yes. और साथ में ये भी YouTube चैनल मैंने आपकी देखी हुई है बहुत सारी.
हाँ.
तो I'm a good fan of you. Yes.
Acting, सब कुछ करना है. तो there is so much in life to do. मतलब इतनी चीजें हैं करने की कि ऐसे लगता है कि अगर वो हमने नहीं किया तो शायद कुछ ना कुछ अफसोस रह जाएगा कि ये मैं कर सकती थी पर मैंने किया नहीं. तो वो क्यों छोड़े. ऐसे लगता है अभी अपने पास टाइम है, अपने पास रिसोर्सेज है, सब कुछ है, तो उसको अच्छे से प्रोडक्टिव यूज में लगाएं. बिकॉज आई फील ओके, मनी इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, बट अगर हमने चैनल के थ्रू कुछ मैसेज पास ऑन कर सके, किसी को कुछ समझ सके या कोई समझ कर इसमें कुछ इम्प्लीमेंट कर सके, तो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ प्रोडक्टिव थिंग कि किसी को कुछ उसमें सीखने मिला. तो आई वुड लव कि 50+ ऑडियंस, लाइक आई एम 60, बट आई वॉन्ट पीपल टू अंडरस्टैंड कि 50+ के बाद भी there is a whole big world out there, and there is so much you can do now without responsibility. जब यंग होते हैं तभी तो कितनी जवाबदारी होती है, बहुत सारी बच्चे, घर, ये वो सब कुछ. अभी तो वो सब से भी परे हो गए. तो इतनी सी अपने पास फुर्सत है, रिसोर्सेज है, वी हैव गॉट ऑल आवर कनेक्ट्स, वी हैव गॉट, यू नो, अभी तो ये एज में लोग फिट भी रहते हैं, तो हेल्थ भी है, इतनी दवाइयाँ हैं, तो वो लंबा जी भी लेते हैं. तो फिर क्या करेंगे वो जी करके, जब कुछ नहीं करना है, बैठकर खाली टीवी देखने में या सिर्फ भजन प्रवचन करने में या किटी पार्टीज में, तो दैट इज नॉट समथिंग विच इज प्रोडक्टिव. आई हैव नेवर अटेंड, मैंने लाइफ में कभी वो सब किया नहीं है, और आई डोंट थिंक आई एम गोइंग टू स्टार्ट. तो ये मरते तो हम तक कुछ करते रहेंगे,
कुछ ना कुछ तो करते ही रहेंगे. अच्छा, मोस्टली सूरत जो सिटी है वो मेट्रो सिटीज में नहीं
आती है,
और सबको लगता है कि इतनी अपॉर्चुनिटी सूरत में नहीं है.
राइट.
बाहर जाओगे तो अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी, ये होगा. राइट. लेकिन आपने अपने होम टाउन में ये सब स्टार्ट किया और सक्सेसफुली इतने अच्छे से कर रहे हो आप.
सो आई एम बेसिकली फ्रॉम मुंबई. मेरा बर्थ बर्मा में हुआ, मैं मुंबई में पली बड़ी, और अभी भी मेरा घर बम्बई में है. मेरी बेटी तो वहीं पर पसंद करती है रहना, बट फिर भी आई फील के, यू नो, दिस सिटी इज वेरी 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 वार्म. वो सबको अपने में समेट लेता है, वो सबको अपने में बहुत अच्छे से समा करके उसको बहुत ज़्यादा वार्मथ देता है कि वो आगे बढ़े, कुछ भी करे, और रिकग्निशन देता है। वो काफ़ी मतलब इसकी जो एनर्जी है ये सिटी की वो बहुत ही अच्छी है। बिकॉज दिस इज़ नॉट मैं काठियावाड़ी हूँ, तो मैं पोरबंदर साइड की हूँ। तो दिस सूरत वॉज नेवर, इट वॉज माई इन लॉ साइड का सिटी। तो उसकी वजह से मेरा यहाँ आना हुआ और फिर ये कर्म भूमि बन गई है ना जैसे। तो वो कर्म भूमि इतनी फली, तो मुझे लगता है जब भी कहीं भी जाओ, तो आज मुझे अगर सेटल होना है तो मैं अमेरिका, लंदन कहीं भी सेटल हो सकती हूँ, पर कहीं भी घूम कर आ जाओ तो ऐसे लगता है नहीं बस वापस सूरत चलते हैं। तो दैट इज हाउ इट इज, एंड दैट्स व्हाई दिस शो आई वांट पीपल टू नो कि यू नो फ्रॉम अ स्मॉल टाउन पीपल आर डूइंग सच बिग थिंग्स, एंड फ्रॉम अ स्मॉल टाउन वी गॉट सच ऑसम अमेजिंग वुमेन कमिंग अप विद सच वंडरफुल आइडियाज। और जैसे अपने ही ग्रुप की हेतल इज गोइंग टू दुबई टू पिच फॉर दिस टाई कॉन्टेस्ट विद ऑल सो मेनी पार्टिसिपेंट्स फ्रॉम ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड। तो ये कितनी बड़ी बात है जो है। So I think
no place, no age, मतलब कुछ भी हमें रोक नहीं सकता अगर हमारे अंदर कुछ चाह है तो।
Yes, absolutely.
Very nice.
Do you consider yourself to be a feminist?
I do. And I think I've always not demanded by saying it, but I think I've just stood up to it and stood shoulder to shoulder with wherever I have been.
Right.
And it just automatically fell in place, and people just realized that yes, you know, we need to give her due, and she is an equal. Like I remember I had been just the first person as a lady Rotarian in my club, and I was the first lady president in my club.
Right.
And I was with all the men all the time, and you know, I was just one of them. So it's at most places where it happens in business or wherever, where I am the only lady around, and I think they just all give me my due as an equal.
Great.